Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Game Time International GTI Card Supply. And today, before we get started, I just want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. I, too, am a veteran, and it's just a really cool, important holiday, in my opinion. And so with that said, at www.gametimeinternational.com, use the promo code Veterans Day, and any order up until Tuesday, I believe I put it, will have a 20% discount. So 20% discount on any order. I hope you guys enjoy that discount code. Here is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at PSA cases, one being the new case, you can see there with the insert, and one being the old. Both of which are going to be cracked. What do you use to crack? Tile printers. This works really well, and I'll show you how I do it. I actually go all the way around and just lift it off. We're going to get these into some mags. And the reason being is, for me, I like collecting Damian Lillard, PCing. Some of these cards, like PSA 10, they get really expensive. I don't have any desire to keep it in a PSA case. It's not so much about the grade for me, but rather just to collect the card. So with that said, I don't need it in this case. And when I do buy a PSA 7 or a PSA 9, I can get them for a lot cheaper than if I'm buying premium PSA 10s. For me, that doesn't really hold so much value. It's different for every collector, and I respect every collector, what they do. But for me, I'd rather get this out of here, put it in a black bordered mag or something, white bordered mag, put it in the collection with the rest of my mags and call it a day. So it really depends what you're doing with your cards. But let's see here how we're going to crack this. So what I do is I make sure that I get it right there. I'm going to crack it all the way around, and let's get started. So they made these new cases. I see what they did. It's not like the old one. It's a little bit more secure, but we're still going to get in there. They made it very difficult to just get in there so easy. So you can see here, much different than the, this is actually my first time cracking one of the new cases. So what I believe, there we go. There, I heard it. Because I don't want to damage the card inside. But this case, they really put a number on this case. Pretty good job by PSA. But probably not, totally uncrackable. Just a little bit annoying. And so with PSA, guys, I have a few things that I want to say. They're the kings of the hill. They're the kings of the hobby. I get all that. But at the same time, they need to up their game a little bit as far as like security on these things. Because what I'm about to show you is kind of scary for people who take advantage of the hobby. And if you think that nobody's out there like taking advantage of the hobby, I mean, really think about it, It's a little bit scary, because check this out. There it is. This thing comes out. I don't think that this thing should be so easy to move around, because this is the authentication. This has the barcode, it has the shiny little label, all this stuff. This piece right here is, they put a piece of tape right there. This is the key. These are very easy to buy in bulk. Very easy to buy in bulk. And then to go ahead and just buy some type of system where I can seal it. I can replace the cards and just switch out cards and put a new, put this label, the old label on there. So that's my concern. When we're looking at the quality of the product, they did switch to more of a UV protection, which is good. So PSA has stepped it up as far as making sure that these are UV protected. As you'll see here, the old cases, let's put this aside for now. Oh, this just comes off like that. Yeah. And then in here, we have no inner sleeve, of course, which, I'm not a big fan of, but it is what it is. So we got the card. So they're using these to go ahead and lock it up. You can see. Interesting. Curious on this. How are we looking? It doesn't matter, right? Because the other one is. But I kind of like this better than what they had. I will be honest. Although I do criticize PSA in many ways. You have to also see some of the things that they're doing a little bit better, and that is by putting this inner case into here. It's kind of interesting, but I still think that the way that this label is printed on a piece of paper and then put in there is not the right idea, because I can literally take out this plastic, replace the plastic, put the label, and switch the card. It's too easy. The labels need to be printed on the plastic. Got to be printed on the plastic. Otherwise, it's just going to be too difficult to ensure that that's, you know, not being tampered with. It's too difficult. So let's get this card. This is a 55-point stock card in one of our mags here. This is a 35 to 55-point mag with inner sleeves. This mold is the mold that we designed here at GTI, Game Time International. And you can see here you have your inner sleeves. Really nice 100% UV plastic. And why did this card get a 7? It's quite obvious. The corner there is all white. So it's got a white corner. So I'm not too concerned about it. I'm not worried about it. I'll put it in an inner sleeve, keep it secure, put it in my mag, and I'll call it a day and put it with the I'll put it with the rest of my, there it is, the rest of my collection. There you go. Nice looking. And a lot of people say, well, the inner sleeve's going to wrinkle. It's going to take away the aesthetics of the card. Definitely not. You still see that shine really nice. And that's it. So we'll put it in there, right here. And you can kind of see another thing that I believe is the size of the cards, to have all this extra stuff there saying the name and all that. I'm not so interested in that. I like the size to be a little bit smaller. So it would be nice if some grading companies, I know one of our partners, Rare Edition, shout out to Rare Edition, beautiful company, beautiful product and everything. They are using our mags right now to do pre-grading. So what they do is they put their cards in our mags, and they have a sticker that goes around here like that. And on the sticker, they say what the pre-grade would be. So it's kind of like just giving collectors an idea of what their cards could grade if they do choose to go grade the cards. But it keeps it a little bit less expensive and in a case that keeps the card very secure at the same time. So that's another thing that's going on. Let's see here. Our boxes of mags Duo come with the magnetic one-touch protective bags. This is for $130. We also have them for 35 to 55 point. Let me just find one of those. Here it is. So each box that we sell comes with 100 of these. And these are really nice because this is what I'll do with this card. This was cracked out of a PSA case, so I'll definitely mag it up. And when I mag it up, I put my fingers on both sides and squeeze down. That way it's not scraping up against the front here. You see that little empty area? We don't want the plastic like scraping up against it. And then that way it's really secure. And I'll keep this PSA tag. This is what I've been doing with my PSA cracks. I don't like that piece of tape right there. Not sure. I don't want to rip it. There we go. Okay. And then this guy will just go in there. Yeah. And then in my collection, I will not forget that, oh, this was one of the ones that I cracked out. There we go. So if you're looking for some mags that can handle 55-point, 35-point cards, check us out again at www.gametimeinternational.com. And again, we're having that Veterans Day sale, so it might be a good time to pick some stuff up. Now, this one is the older case. It's going to be a lot easier to just crack right through that. And let me just go around the older one. I think the new one's pretty easy too. You just got to get the hang of it. That was the first time I've cracked a new one. So it's kind of like, wait a minute, what's this? But, you know, as I move forward, like cleaning up some collection of mine, because I'm going to keep buying like lower grade PSA stuff of Lillard so I could just have the cards. Because some collectors, they say, well, if it's PSA 7 or PSA 9, it's not worth anything. I think this card can only sell, like this one particularly right now, it's really cheap. Because, you know, there's people want the PSA 10. They don't want the PSA 9. For me, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So there you go. There's the card. You see that corner a little bit. Nice looking card. They did put a plastic sleeve on the top. So you can see here, this is something that they're doing. I've never seen this before. What about the back of the card? Why would you just put it on the front of the card? I don't understand why we're just putting it on one side of the card and why it's being placed over when you can have a sleeve in there. It's just, they're trying different things, you know. Their old cases, guys, by the way, are going to be, let's see here on the old case. Yeah, they definitely made an upgrade on the case as far as like making sure that it UV protected. Yeah, for me, I mean, if you can get there's our case. If you can get an inner sleeve that doesn't create aesthetically any issues for the card, that, like, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's our Genesis. And we get it in this case. Like what they had the plastic over it. I don't know if that's really necessary, because here you get like the same feel. And you can see how it fits there in our case. You see? And then let's get the top on there. Bam. Nice looking card right there. So I'll do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna get a mag bag and I'm gonna keep my label. I've been doing that. I think it's kind of my little way of collecting. You know, this hobby is a collector's hobby. And if you want to do something with your cards, or you want to collect a certain way, it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. Kind of wanted that to flush in there. I guess I'll put it like that, yeah. So there goes my Damian Lillard Genesis 2020 Mosaic PSA 9 in a mag with a bag. And I got both of those cards now the way I want them in my collection with mags. So 55 point, 35 point, inner sleeves don't cause any issue for the aesthetics of the card. They keep the card very nice. There they are. And then my PSA cases are going to get retired, these guys. Shout out to PSA. It's the new PSA case is an upgrade, but it still is too easy to take these labels out, buy these in bulk, and cards can be switched with, nobody would know. And that's the problem with this industry, is that the grading companies are creating a system that is really easy to go out there and tamper with. So Tag is one company, TAG, shout out to Tag. Tag is one company that I think figured it out as far as not being able to cheat. Because they're printing on the plastic here, guys, what's going to happen is that if I crack out the card, I'm not going to be able to take a different card and use this case because it's going to show damage and it's printed right here. So I think PSA should follow suit. Definitely PSA needs to get rid of that little piece of paper that they're putting in there and make sure that everything's printed on the actual plastic. Just a suggestion from a guy who owns a little card supply company called GTI. A little guy with a card supply company called GTI. See you guys. Have a good one, and keep enjoying the hobby. That was me and my wife at Burbank. Tag does these custom cards. Very cool stuff. Okay, talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.